to discuss Atin Ito's third civilian mission to the West Philippine Sea and its significance, as well as other key issues shaping the nation. We are now joined by Kiko Aquino Dee. Hi, Kiko. Good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Morning Matters.
Hi, Pauline. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, well, Kiko, Atin Ito about to have its third civilian mission in the West Philippine Sea. Tell us what made you decide to conduct another mission in the WPS.
Well, I think the goal of Atin Ito is really to civilianize the West Philippine Sea. No? I think most of our viewers will be aware that we're in a competitive relationship right now with China over the exercise of our rights in that area. And I think one way that we can contest China, it's a much stronger power, it has a strong military. But one way that we can contest them is by showing to them and to the world that we're interested in doing peaceful things in that area, trying to de-escalate. And so we're doing things like helping out our fisher folk who make their livelihood off of that area. And now we're going to be holding a concert in the area to show that while we're assertive, we're firm in asserting our rights in the area, we also don't mean anyone harm, whether it be China, any of the other claimants, or to anyone else looking to use the West Philippine Sea.
Well, before we talk about the concert, I mean, the previous two missions, Kiko, definitely had significance on the public awareness on this issue, right? But what specific outcomes are you hoping to achieve with this third mission?
Well, that's right. So the first two missions, I think, really put us back on the world stage. No? So what happened with our story with the West Philippine Sea in 2016, July 2016, we had a very favorable ruling in as far as our rights to the West Philippine Sea. Those rights, or that ruling, was not really used by the previous Duterte administration to defend our rights. Now we're seeing some progress in terms of support for asserting our rights in the area. But again, we want to sort of reclaim, we want to show to the world again that the Philippines is serious about taking care of that part of the seas, no? Taking care of the West Philippine Sea. So I think the first two missions really got a lot of coverage here and around the world. We're hoping to do the same thing. No? That's why, in a way, Atin Ito is scaling up. No? The first was a civilian-led resupply mission for those stationed in BRP Sierra Madre. The second really was there to help a lot of our fisher folk taking care of the area. And aside from the, I think, 5 big ships of Atin Ito, around 100 small vessels also sailed there. Now we're going to try something very new, very different, concert in the area, just to remind the world that the Philippines is a reliable partner as far as taking care of the seas there, and also as far as asserting not just our rights, but the international rule-based order that governs relationships between countries.
All right, so now let's talk about that peace and solidarity concert. I mean, it will be happening right at the Kalayaan Island, right, Kiko?
The plan is to conduct the concert right at the center of the West Philippine Sea, at the center of the Kalayaan Islands. So, we really just want to show that while we're firm in asserting that what's ours is ours, what's the Philippines is the Philippines, we don't mean any harm to anyone. And so I think one of the best ways to do that is through song, the universal language, basically. And again, it's not just going to be Philippine acts that are performing. We have Fumi, I think, a Japanese artist who has agreed to perform with us, and we're still inviting and still recruiting other artists from all the different countries involved in the dispute to sort of come together and say that we want peace. We believe in our rights, but we want peace.
But Kiko, given the ongoing tensions, I mean, what are the measures as well in place to ensure the safety of all those partaking in this third civilian mission?
Well, Atin Ito is consistent with coordinating with our security sector. So one of the consultants of Atin Ito, or one of the main advocates of Atin Ito, is former Admiral Romel Ong, no? And we also have contacts with the relevant government agencies to make sure that while the position of Atin Ito is we don't really need to ask permission to to visit an area that rightfully belongs to Filipinos, not just the government, but to the Philippine state and every Filipino citizen, definitely we will make sure to coordinate with the relevant authorities to make sure that nothing untoward occurs.
And for those who are interested to take part in this third civilian mission, Kiko, how can they do that?
Well, Atin Ito, our socials are all over the place, no? So you can look up for us on Facebook. You can just search Atin Ito on Google, and you'll find our socials there. And definitely keep your eyes peeled for the concert. We hope to have as many viewers from around the world to sort of partake in that message that while we're firm in asserting our rights, what we want is peace. And I think especially the last couple of months, the Philippines has really made ourselves known as a very artistic, a very musically gifted country, and we'd like to share that with the rest of the world. That it's not just the Philippines, but a lot of the countries in the region want to use our talents to advance this cause of peace, but also firmness in the rules-based order that governs the seas.
Have you already filled the list of the 100 volunteers? I mean, can people still sign up? And how are preparations also going for you?
That's right. I don't actually. I'm still finalizing if the list of volunteers is filled up. I don't think it is. I just know that I'm penciled in to be there, and I think some of my relatives might be finding out about that for the first time. But yeah, I definitely think if people are interested in actually taking the trip, they can reach out to us on our socials, and we will definitely. It's not an instant process, right? It's there's a lot of preparation that goes into it, but if that's possible, we'll definitely get back to anyone who's interested. How are the preparations going? We're still finalizing the acts that will be performing, and definitely there's constant coordination with the relevant government agencies. But I think Atin Ito, this is the third time the group is doing this civilian-led mission. I think there's been a lot of learning from the last two missions that have both been fairly successful now. So while the preparations are ongoing, the preparations are very involved, but I think we're getting more and more confident doing these trips as the days go by.
Yeah, and I believe the Morning Matters host Gretchen actually also took part in one of the civilian missions, right? And you know, Kiko, I know Atin Ito has always been advocating and emphasizing the role of collective action, right, in defending the sovereignty of the country. But apart from participating in missions like these, how else do you think can ordinary citizens or organizations do to support this cause? What else can they do?
I think it's important to get organized not just through trips like this, but I think we need to show both the world and our leaders here that defending our sovereign rights to the West Philippine Sea is a permanent interest of the Filipino people, regardless of what administration sits there. Every government has a responsibility to defend our exclusive economic zone. And I think that it's unfortunate that the past administration has shown us that it's something that citizens have to remind our leaders of. But given that that's the case, there's an election coming up. I hope that Filipinos and a vast majority of Filipinos agree that our rights to the West Philippine Sea are something that our representatives really need to go out of their way to defend. And I hope we can remind them of that, not just through this civilian-led convoy that's going to start on May 25, but also in the coming elections. Let us elect candidates who are consistent in defending our rights to the West Philippine Sea.
All right. Well, thank you very much for sharing all those insights and updates with us here on Morning Matters. That was Atin Ito advocate Kiko Aquino Dee.
Thank you very much, Paul.